I have been connected with the Alzheimer's Association probably for 30-some years. I went to one of their very first galas after my dad had been diagnosed. In '84, he was age 70. And I really didn't know much about it. At that point, you didn't want to tell anybody if your husband or your father had Alzheimer's. You just didn't say the word. My mom had locks put on the doors, and I had gone to get the paper, and I accidentally left the lock off, and my dad got out, and we couldn't find him. We got a call from the clubhouse at the golf course, and they said, "Oh, Mr. Clark has just come in and wanted his clubs." And he had walked a mile up to the clubhouse. But the funny part was he had picked up everybody's newspaper along the way, and he walked in the clubhouse with 9 papers in his arms. It was just a real sadness because my dad had been such a big part of my life and all of our family's life, and a great grandpa, and suddenly he wasn't the same man that we had known. We weren't there for my mom. She was really by herself. It was just heartbreaking to me that I couldn't be more of a help or be with her. So that's when I turned to the Alzheimer's Association. And I can remember looking up in the yellow pages, and I got in my car and I drove down and I knocked on their door. And at that time, there were 2 people that worked in the office. And I said, "I really need help." They offered a support group to me. There were other people in the group that were going through the same thing I was. It was really helpful for me to just talk to other people, because I didn't really understand the disease. I didn't really know what my mom had been going through.
You're in shock, and you're immediately trying to find your way as you're swimming in the dark, and you're, oh my goodness, this is what we have. What are we going to do?
I remember being at the doctor's office after he had done some testing, and I really didn't know much about it. We got home that day, and he goes, "I don't want anybody to know about this. I'm going to be just fine."
When COVID hit, nobody could go into facilities, nursing homes. And I remember my mother having to say goodbye to her sister because she had gotten so bad, she was close to passing away, over the phone. To this day, my mother still talks about how difficult that was.
When I got involved with the Alzheimer's Association, I knew I had to keep up with it. It's kind of like a calling to me, and it is my favorite thing that I've been involved with.
She's helped so many people through the darkest parts of their life, and she gives you the chance to know that there is light at the end of this. You're going to make it through. Carole does that very, very well. When we were starting the gala committee and we were meeting, Carole was kind of the stabilizing force. She was warm, she's very comforting, she was very compassionate.
She's been amazing and is just an absolute joy to work with, and her passion for the Alzheimer's Association and really everything she does.
She's always excited and willing to help. She's one of those individuals when it's, "Hey, can somebody help with this?" She's the first one to raise her hand. It motivates you to want to do more.
It is a lot of work getting ready for these galas and being part of these committees. There's always a sigh of relief when it's over and it's gone well. But there's a part of me that I sit there and go, I don't know if I can keep doing this. If I get a little tired of this, I think about her. Just a great role model that still has the passion 30 years later.
By being able to support it emotionally and leading people to the right people to find out where they can get help, that's probably more important than the money that I give back to the association. 20 years ago, Dr. Peterson from Mayo Clinic was one of our speakers at the gala, and he said, in 10 years, we're going to have something to beat this disease. And now 15, 20 years have passed, and finally, we have 2 new drugs, and we're so excited about them.
There's been so many advances that we've seen. Once you get some momentum and you see some progress with some of these new drugs, kind of reinvigorates that, hey, like, we're making progress here.
I don't think there's ever been a more exciting time to be involved in this space.
The thousands of people that are walking in walks to raise money for the research, and we raised $1,500,000 at our gala last year. Well, when I first started, if we raised $150,000, we were, woohoo, this was the best. And now look at where we are and how many people now are not afraid to say the word. And they ask you about what it was like when your dad had Alzheimer's. I would say it's more important than ever to support the Alzheimer's Association.
There are more diagnoses now, and the diagnoses are coming younger. We need a lot of resources.
We can't stop now, right? It'd be like leaving the baseball game in the third inning and just say, oh, great, we got one drug that can slow it down, but that's just the beginning.
I'm optimistic. Maybe it won't help my mom, maybe it won't even help me, but maybe it'll help my kids or my grandkids.
Finally, we can say we think we're on the edge of just hopefully solving this disease. I'm so positive about what we're going to find within the next year or two.